So it's been a while since I've made a video. Oh. And I finally had the baby. I was induced at week 39 because of my high blood pressure. So they didn't want me to have that 40 weeks because I'm high risk. Um, so I went in last week. This week makes 2 weeks. So yeah. I was supposed to be induced at 8 p.m. They didn't start until like 10 or whatever. I had everything packed. I had my birthing ball and everything, but they had birthing balls there, so I didn't have to blow up mine. I just used what they had. They had a peanut ball and everything. I want to say this has been the best labor experience in a weird way. It took forever, but I didn't really feel pain. I mean, I was trying to have natural. Up until I was like four point something centimeters open, I started feeling contractions. And it's funny because when I got there, I was having contractions. So the whole time I was in the house, like 2 weeks before my induction, I was already having contractions. It's just I didn't realize they were contractions, which is weird. So while I was there, the nurse was like, "You're having a contraction. Do you feel that?" And I'm like, "Oh, okay." Because I would feel when she was like really low and my vagina would hurt. But I'm like, okay, it's just, I already was told my placenta was low. So I figured it was that, but I was having contractions. Um, um, so yeah, so okay, so I try to have natural up until I was almost 5 centimeters open. So that's when I really started feeling contractions. But because I have two sons already, with my second son, I started breathing. I didn't know how to breathe, and I was forced to breathe because I didn't have no epidural, no nothing. And then it's funny because now I feel like my second son was induced. The fact that I am so fast, I feel like it was induced. But my knowledge, I didn't have no epidural. I do remember some IV stuff, but whatever. So 4 point something, they used the Foley balloon. They used the pill to soften my cervix. The Foley balloon wasn't too bad. I thought it was gonna hurt more than that, the way it looked on the videos and stuff that I was watching. I did feel the pressure. It didn't feel too bad at all. I'm surprised. It was when I was dilating with the balloon inside that I started feeling like, oh shit. And the pill made me feel so soft down there that it was ridiculous. Um, my mama was there. She was there the whole 2 days I was there. My baby daddy was there when I went in for the induction, assuming that they were going to start exactly at 8. He had to go to work the next morning, so he had to leave maybe by midnight or something. I didn't see him until the next. I didn't see him until the following day. Well, the following afternoon. So I didn't get my epidural until like I want to say 9ish, 8ish, 9ish in the morning. So from like 8, I was at the hospital. They didn't start plugging me in and stuff until like 10 at night. So from 10 morning, I ate before I left, so I wasn't really hungry. But the nurse was saying I could have snacks and shit like that, so I was hyped. I was hype. And when I did get hungry, I couldn't eat. It was liquid stuff like broth. It wasn't even soup. It was broth, um, juice, like apple juice, broth, ices that come in the cup. I could have my water and ice. So it wasn't too bad because the ices were nice and the juice. Um, I did manage to have snacks like cookies, Cheez-Its, snacks, but no solids, like real solid food. Um, so yeah, so like around 9-ish, 8-ish, 9-ish, I was like, nah, I don't know about these contractions. I think I want to have my epidural. And I was really thinking about it too. Should I have my epidural? I mean, I did complain with my second son that I couldn't get it, but now they're here offering it. The anesthesiast came in. That's how you say it, right? Came in and I feel like they ain't doing shit outside making noise. Um, bless you. Bless you. Um, he came in and he was analyzing me and he was saying, if I want epidural, I could just request it. I signed for it just in case I needed it. And I did need it. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna get it. I tried. I don't know if this is gonna work out. I feel like had the labor been a little faster, I'm sorry. I feel like if the labor would have been a little faster, I would have had no choice. But because it was going slow, I was feeling everything and I didn't want to feel the pain. So I requested the epidural. Now, the epidural this time was interesting. I felt high, but not like the first epidural I had. The first epidural I had, I actually felt high like if I was on a blunt. But this time I felt high like I know what the fuck. That time I was just blabbing, blabbing. Like I was hype. I didn't feel no pain and I was just, you could tell I was high. This time you couldn't tell I was high. I just knew I was high because I wasn't feeling any pain. Now I could still feel my system. I could feel the epidural going in. I could feel the liquid. I could feel the anesthesia feeling cold in my spine and all types of shit. And that was weird. Because it felt cold. Like there was no other reaction I could give other than that shit feels cold. I wasn't shaking this time, so I could sit and plop and have him do the epidural. And both times it was a male doctor, so. But I feel like they kept asking me like, where do you feel like the needle or whatever, and I'm just like, it just doesn't feel like it's in the middle. Like it was weird, but I feel like he did a good job because I didn't feel. Now with the epidural, your legs get numb, but this time I didn't feel my legs numb. I could still move my legs, which was weird. Like the first epidural I had, my legs were numb. I couldn't move it. My mom and my kid's father at the time, he had to move. They had to move it for me. Like when it came down to pushing, opening my legs and pushing and stuff. When you gotta scoot down to the bed and stuff. I couldn't do that by myself. I didn't feel my legs. My legs were numb. This time I could move for the nurse, so I was hyped. I'm sorry. Some chocolate went in her bowl, so that was good. So I don't know if it was like the amount of epidural. I don't know if it has to do with my weight. I'm assuming it does. So maybe then I was thinner. Maybe I got a heavier dose. This time I got like the perfect dose. So Once everything was connected, I was able to get like a little remote where I can push if I felt I needed more epidural. So that was cool. I think I went through the same thing. I don't remember pushing it though. Like this time, I remember I pushed it like at least a couple times. So, and what's weird is this has been my first experience at a hospital where I'm not feeling cold. Like the liquid was cold, but as far as me feeling like the AC and stuff like that, I don't know what that was about. I don't know if it was high blood pressure or what, but so by the time I was dilated to 10, I felt like I could have been there a couple hours more. But they was like, nope, they checked me and I was 10 and I'm like, oh shit. They was like, we're gonna get you ready to push. Literally, I felt like my brain reacted in a nervous way. Like even I'm there just like going along with whatever's happening around me. But when they said we're gonna get you ready to push, I think my brain cells ordered like a recap. And I don't know how that was gonna go, so I kind of got nervous. My body kind of got nervous. I realized that the epidural was feeling different, so I don't know if I was gonna feel me pushing or not feel me pushing. And them checking my cervix was blowing minds because it was two sets of nurses. So, for example, a nurse comes in, I'm gonna check your cervix to see how dilated you are. Okay, cool. She does that, and then uh, she's with a partner, and the partner wants to also check my cervix. So I don't know if these were students. So I'm just like, okay, well, okay. I should have really been upset, but I'm just like, this is the shit that people go through at the hospital. You got students or interns or whatever that needs the experience. So why not, right? I could be a bomb ass patient. Could have been like, you know what? It's just been checked. That shit hurt. No, thank you. But I'm just like, fuck it. I'm here. When am I really at the hospital? You know. So honestly, I feel like I pushed two, three times, and it didn't hurt. It didn't hurt. I couldn't feel. I couldn't. Ew. I couldn't feel me pushing the first time with my son. Everything felt forced. Like there was no air. Like it was forced. Like I had to like push. But this time it was like, no, I'm pushing. They told me how to like uh set my body or whatever to push. Like I don't know the exact words, but like I had to like put my head down like this and like push and all types of shit. And it worked out. I felt me pushing. I know, I'm sorry. I'm being greedy. Um, it worked out. I pushed like two times, and then they were like, "Stop, stop, 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 stop." And the reason they said stop was because they could see her. They can see her coming out. So maybe had I pushed again, they weren't gonna be able to catch her or something. My mom was there and saw her coming out and everything, cut her umbilical cord and everything. I hear my phone, but I just don't want to answer it. So that was cool for her as a grandma. She got to cut the cord. She got to cut the cord for my baby. Um, I'm excited that I'm not pregnant anymore, but I'm actually thinking if I want any more kids. She's perfect. My sons, the stories about my sons. They're teenagers now, so it's like this is my baby, you know? So I'm like, I wonder if we should wait 3 years. I wonder if we should wait 5 years. Um, our pregnancy. Oh, her pregnancy was not too bad. It was actually one of the more peaceful pregnancies I've ever had. Um, it's insane though. I can't believe I had contractions and didn't really notice them. I noticed them at the hospital when I was plugged in because one of the machines that they connect to your stomach tells you when you're undergoing a contraction. And I'm like, oh, okay. Because it's been like 11 years since I don't get those. So I'm just like, all I remember that week is I was feeling like I was about to get my period the following week. So for like that same week, I had a fetal assessment. They wanted to check her heart. They wanted to check my water. So that Monday, I had a fetal assessment. That previous Friday, I had a fetal assessment. And I was scheduled for the induction that Wednesday. So I was kind of in and out. But they just wanted to make sure she was good. They wanted to make sure my high blood pressure was good. They gave me a monitor and all types of shit. But I honestly think that I could have waited 40 weeks. Like I could have waited. Honestly, the day I had her was the day before 40 weeks. So I was like 39, 6, 7 days or whatever. So my 40 weeks would have been that midweek to the following week. But I'm kind of glad I was induced. I felt like I was over being pregnant anyway. My feet and my legs were swollen. Them shits looked like tamales. Like, and it's just now going down. So my face is going back to normal. My face was very, very swollen. My arms, my back was aching. Um, I gotta see if I could talk to my doctor about getting x-rays, but now shit has been complicated because I should have got my x-ray before I got pregnant. Um, so she was born noon. So all my kids was born during the day. My oldest was born close to 11 a.m. Second son was born afternoon, like 2 something, and she was born at 12 something. So that was cool. Um, I hope registering her name isn't going to be an issue. Because every party signed on a different date. So I'm praying that everything goes how it's supposed to go. Um, I'm very grateful for my mother. No matter how much we argue and bicker and stuff like that, she really stayed 2 days with me at the hospital. She was just there all day by my side. Um, Shout out to the hospital though, because I was able to order my food. Usually, my experience has been like a nurse comes in and asks you, kind of brings up what they have for the day or whatever, and kind of asks you what would you like out of the list that they have. This hospital has a whole menu, and everything on that menu is lit. So you can kind of just call your uh room service, and you can order for your guests. So that was fun. Um, and at first I was on liquid diets, like I said, so broth, jellos, um, ices, water and ice, and so that was my breakfast. And then lunch came around. They gave me the same thing, but because she was born um noon, I was able to call them after she was born and be like, I got like partial of my lunch. Can I get like the rest of my lunch? Like, can I order solids now? I just had the baby. Um, and they brought it up. Um, so like I said, overall great labor experience, lots of soreness. Like I was just sore. It wasn't even like if you know what you're getting into, you already know it's gonna hurt, right? But it was more soreness for me. Like I was sore. I was swollen. I had aches everywhere. Um, epidural worked its full pain coverage. I still felt the pressure, like heavy on my back. Um, so it was still awkward when I felt like the epidural running through me, through my veins and shit. Like it was cold, but it was like it. The hospital room wasn't so hot for it, like to be ignored that it was cold. Like it felt like when I got vaccinated for COVID. I don't know if you guys can relate, but like when I got my first vaccine, um, I felt instant coldness running through my veins. Felt like I just like I went into a bar and caught me a shot or something. But it's on your back, so it's like weird. It's like running up instead of like running down, it's like running up. But I feel like where he located the needle and stuff, it worked. My cervix, like it worked all the areas that it needed to work for me to have the baby. Um, but you could tell it was very different than my first experience. So, as far as my positioning, like I wanted to do all these crazy positions initially when I purchased my birthing ball, but honestly, you get to because I wasn't on the epidural as soon as I got there, I was loose. So all they had to do was like plug in the IV stuff, um, my pressure cuff and stuff like that. But if I'm away from all of that, the equipment here where they connect your IV, you can just loosen the cord and you're free. Or like take off the pressure cuff and you're free. You get to go to the bathroom, you get to walk around the room, blah 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 blah. So I instantly, as soon as I got there, mentioned to them I want to do a birthing ball and stuff like that. And they were like, "Oh, you brought a birthing ball?" I'm like, "Yeah." They were like, "Well, we have some too." So I'm like, "Well, if it's already blown up, like, why am I gonna go through that?" I mean, and even better, less germs for my birthing ball. And they kind of just put like one of those chucks on top of the birthing ball, and I was able to sit on the birthing ball. Um, I'm usually a germ, what you call it, like germ head, but I'm like, fuck it, I'm going into labor. This is a hospital. Initially, I was annoyed by their bathroom, the labor room's bathroom. Um, but I'm like, fuck it. I should have called housekeeping, but the nurse said that, they just cleaned it. So basically, they scrubbed the toilet and left it with the product. But by the time I got there, it looked like the tub, I mean, the toilet wasn't scrubbed. So during the times I needed to use the bathroom, I had to like use those paper thingies and put it over the toilet and like kind of um even though you're not supposed to sit obviously without the thing. But listen, I was having a baby. I'm in pain. I know right from wrong. They know right from wrong. I don't want to argue. I don't want to be fussy. I don't want to be a bitch all the time, you know? But it was annoying to me having to go to the bathroom, ignoring certain signs, certain things. Um, but I'm good. Uh, I think I'll make another video about like the nurses and my reports, my medical stuff. I don't want to make this video too long. But I tried a different position, so I was sitting on the birthing ball for a few, um, kind of just like sitting on the birthing ball, um, trying to open up my cervix, um, laying down with a peanut ball. Now that's more intense than sitting on the birthing ball. The peanut ball isn't too small; it's big, just as big as the birthing ball, except it's shaped like a peanut. And so if you're laying down, you get to uh put your legs over it or like have one leg over, one leg under or whatever. So you're not just laying down, you're kind of exercising and like moving the baby around. That one was more that one was more pressure for me. Like I felt more contractions when I was using the peanut ball. I felt more pressure. Eventually when I had to get off the peanut ball and get up and use the bathroom, like that was more pressure for me. So I was wondering, because then there came a time where I was getting tired of getting up and going to the bathroom. I'm in pain. I have contractions. This doesn't even feel normal to me. Usually, my experience has been I'm connected to a catheter. That's that baggie that collects your urine. But the nurse was like, that's if you have an epidural. Once you have an epidural, because you're numbed, mainly the bottom half of your body, you get the catheter. So if you need to use the bathroom, it goes directly into that bag. You don't have to get up to use the bathroom. But getting up made me feel like, yes, I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. Because I'm not going to pee on myself. Like, I could if I wanted to, but I'm not going to pee on myself. It's called dignity. Um, so I was slowly dilating, which made it a longer labor. Um, but it was a peaceful labor. Like I wasn't yelling. Um, I wasn't. I cried here and there only because I was so ready to meet her. I was tired. I was sore. I was swollen. It was time. I couldn't picture being pregnant 42 weeks like some other females. Um, I think I would have definitely cried if they were like, "No, everything's all right. We'll see you in 42 weeks." I would have cried. Um, but basically, I was in labor for like maybe 12 to 14 hours, if I'm not mistaken. We got there at 8 p.m., so 8 a.m. makes 12 hours, right? And then after that, she was born at noon. So like 12, maybe 16 hours, something like that. It was definitely under 20 hours. Um, yeah, it was getting uncomfortable for me to move while contractions got closer. Her heart was dropping a lot during the time that I was getting the epidural. Like during the time the epidural was working its works, her heart kept dropping, and I don't understand. I didn't understand why. Um, That's never happened with the boys. Um, so yeah, I kept getting sad when I heard that, and I was getting hope, like you. I felt useless, like I didn't know what to do to make her heart rate go up. I do remember if I was talking, her heart rate would go up. Um, yes, I was talking to my mom a lot. I didn't really go to sleep like I wanted to. I was up during the whole time. Um, so yeah, so no catheter until epidural. I was more flexible this round than my first and second baby. Um, once we had her, we was there for 2 hours in the labor room, and we had to move to the delivery room, um, which is where you get more comfortable. You have your own bed. You get your own room. So it's just you, your baby, and if you have a guest that's staying with you, or if you have guests coming over, that's just your room with your baby and your guests. So I like that. Um, what I did not like is the cleaning crew coming in pretending that they're cleaning. So once we moved to the room with baby, about 2 hours after labor, I ordered me some lunch, dinner. It's most likely dinner. I think I ordered dinner. The room came with like a welcome box filled with snacks and juices and water and stuff like that. I forgot to take pictures. Like I had this whole thing because I remember my channel and I'm like, I'm gonna take pictures, videos, and stuff like that. But honestly, my storage, I have issues with my storage. I was able to take a few pictures here and there, but not like I wanted to. I wanted the whole video experience, me walking in, um, showing you the labor room, and stuff like that, the machines and things like that. But I'm in my 30s. I think that's what it is. So that's pretty much it. I'll see if I can make a video, another video with some specifics. But I just wanted to record my labor experience. Oh, I got the depot. I got the depot after I was discharged, just to stay on the safe side. They say you have to wait 2 months to recover. So the depot lasts you 3 months. And I just, I don't know. Definitely different though than my first experience. The only thing with the depot is I was bleeding for like 4 months straight. Hopefully that's not the case. I've noticed that when I drink Midol pill, my bleeding kind of slows down. I was prescribed Tylenol and Motrin. I want to stay away from those because those are still addicting. But usually it's nice to have those around when you have pain. I suffer back pains, headaches. I haven't went back to my sleeping or migraine medicine because I am breastfeeding. Um, I'm not sure how long I will be breastfeeding for. Um, I'm supposed to be receiving a breast pump soon, so I'll make a video about that when it gets here, hopefully this week. Saturday the latest, hopefully. We have an appointment tomorrow. They have to redo the heel test. That's when they puncture the heel, the baby's heel, and they kind of gotta like force blood out that little hole to fill up some weird ass circles on a paper and send it to the state for testing. So they did that when she was 36 hours old. So tomorrow they have to do it for her 2 weeks, I think. Weird. Weird, right? Like they have your blood already. So weird. Um, so if you guys smoke and drink, I suggest you don't during the first couple of months, because these testings and these these appointments can get weird. You want to be sober and sane to answer any and every question to your best ability. Like the weeks before my induction, I kept correcting nurses and telling them how many weeks exactly I was and how many days, and they were pretending that I was wrong and they were right. And it's like towards the end, I'm reading my paperwork, and oh no, I really am 39 weeks. Oh yeah, cool. Um, and I just was like, I hope they don't fuck up her medical records with these weird dates and notes and just weirdness. She's beautiful. She's amazing. She's a July baby. I can't wait for her to meet her older brothers. She looked like them too. It's crazy. She looked like her older sister from her dad's side, and she looks like my oldest son. He had all that hair, except he was dark skinned. And my youngest son was a little darker than her, but he was light skinned, kind of like my complexion, with the same amount of hair, except his was spiked. Like his wouldn't flatten down. His would just be up, kind of like hers in the beginning of the video. She weighed 8 pounds, aka 7 pounds 15 ounces. My second son weighed 7 pounds 7 ounces, and my first baby weighed 6 pounds 4 ounces. Now, if you see them today, my oldest son is way, way, way bigger than my second son. And I thought that, with the weight, that meant my second son would be bigger than my first son, but no. So, I mean, I don't know. It could be my second son's growth spurt is kicking in slow. He might shoot up all of a sudden and be tall and bigger than my first. So I don't know. So it's interesting to know these weights and these lengths. They were both 19 inches long. She was 20 inches long. So we'll see who eventually is the tallest and biggest and whatnot. But the good thing about her is she takes the bottle as well. I had difficulties with my second son taking the bottle. He was breastfed, uh, like exclusively breastfed. She is breastfed and does formula and takes the bottle just fine. She's so peaceful. She's so peaceful. We're still trying to get her to fall asleep in her own bed. Yeah, I think that was all. Overall, I love the hospital experience. I love the uh, room service. The only thing they should work more on their cleaning of the room. I was so annoyed by the ladies. Just not cleaning how I'm used to the room being cleaned. You know, uh, no one really came in to clean the toilet, the sink, you know, um, the surface, like the counters, tops, like around. Like it was just like they came in, swept a little bit, mopped a little bit, wiped doorknobs, like what? And I'm just like, okay, okay, cool. Let me not let that upset me. The vending machines. I went one night, I was craving stuff, and I'm like, let me go to the vending machine. I took out $9 with me, and I walked my ass to the vending machine just to see what they had. I didn't want to bother the nurses to bring me no snacks. The vending machine was pretty much empty. Everything was expensive. I got me Rice Krispie treats and some barbecue chips for my mother, and that was all. And altogether, I lost like $6 on those two items. But overall, the nurses were nice. When it came down to getting my baby's foot certificate, now I think this is what's weird when you mention to the nurses, yeah, I'm gonna breastfeed. Everything is different than if you don't exclusively breastfeed. Because with my first son, he was born, the nurses got him, they cleaned him, they started working on the footprints, they started filling out the certificate. Everything was done accordingly. And I felt like with my second son, he was born, they plopped him on top of me, and he was ready to breastfeed. And so it took like over an hour because he was feeding for like an hour. And then after that hour, they took him, they weighed him, they cleaned him, and all types of stuff. And then I guess they did the certificate or whatever. Um, and with her, they did it upon us moving to the other room. So they did her footprints. They didn't fill out her name. Um, I think they filled out the date, the time that she was born, the weight, and the length. So her name was empty. The doctors and the nurses' names were empty. I was so annoyed, and I don't understand how you could do that. Like, you're a nurse. This is a mother's experience. Why not fill out the whole certificate? Like, why would they add these lines and you not fill them in? Why wouldn't you go into your system and see what doctors and nurses assisted me in having my baby so that you can put it on the certificate? I couldn't stand that nurse. And you know why? Because she was pregnant. There are pregnant females that come in contact with other pregnant females or new moms and want to annoy the shit out of her. Why? If it had been the other way around and I'm the nurse and you're the patient, you just had your baby, why the fuck wouldn't I fill this shit out? Why? So I had to talk to a different nurse. And what pissed me off is the nurse that gave me the certificate. Initially, she was black. And here comes the white nurse. I got to talk to her and figure out how she can fix this issue. She was glad to. She was such a sweetheart. She said, I'll fill this in for you. I'll make a new one. Oh my God. Why didn't the other one say that to me? So I was annoyed by that. And she knew she irked my nerves. Um, when we moved to the other room, I started filling out the name registry form. And next thing I know, no, I started filling it out well, on the other side before we moved to the room. So when we got to the room, I wanted to continue filling out the forms. Um, and there's no pen. The pen just mysteriously moved out the fucking folder. I'm just upset. I'm like, Ma, what the fuck? Like, there was a pen here. Why isn't it here? We moved the folder into this bag. Where's the pen? Like, I was annoyed because I already started. It was like a gel pen, and I have pens, but I didn't have that pen. So I already started filling out the form, and obviously, if I switch pens, the form is gonna look stupid. I didn't want the form looking retarded, so I was upset. Next thing I know, I'm thinking my mom took the pen or my mom misplaced the pen or whatever. And it was the nurse that took the pen. Why? Why? It's only one pen in the fucking room, and you know that the mom has to fill out all these forms. Why take that pen? Next thing I know, I'm admitting to her, I'm so annoyed because there was a pen here, blah, blah, blah. I took the pen. I'm like, what the, like little shit. That's so irking. And then to come find out, a nurse or whoever is texting me from the hospital talking about there might be an issue with my baby's registry because um, the dates have been all different. And the witness was supposed to witness the father signing on the same date, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, listen, the nurse signed it, so I don't see what's the issue really. The dates that are there provided are actually the dates I was at the hospital. There's nothing else to it. There's no other explanation for those dates other than I was admitted during the day she was born and the day that, the last signature. The day of the last signature. So I don't think it should be that complicated. I don't think it should be that big of a deal. My signature, the dad's signature, the nurse's signature. The nurse decided to sign because she saw mom and dad and she asked mom if this is dad's signature. Mom confirmed it was dad's signature. The rest of the form is my handwriting. I don't understand what's the issue. She wanted me to come into the office, do a whole new form. I'm like, listen, just submit the form. If they deny it, then we'll take action. If not, then great. I mean, I don't understand why it got to be such a big deal. Out here is different than in New York. In New York, you can have a baby, fill out the form. You give it to the nurse. The nurse sends it in, and you get your birth certificate in a couple weeks. You get your social security card in a couple weeks. That's it. Here, I think you gotta order the birth certificate, you gotta order the social security card, a whole bunch of shit. And it's like, why? Um, so if I don't get the birth certificate, I'll have to order it. What would most likely come in is like a name registry card or some shit like that. So I don't know what that's about, but when I was reviewing when I was reviewing my forms, my folders and stuff, I saw an extra form there, so that's good. And then I saw like some forms that the nurse had signed in the other room regarding Social Security. So I don't know, but hopefully everything works out accordingly and according to plan. Nothing is delayed and everything is okay. I'm trying to make sure I make it to all my appointments. Um, at least up until like forever. I was slipping in the past with some appointments, and so I don't want that to happen again. Um, I've been jotting down like they give you this newborn record, and so I've been jotting down the date, the time, whether she pees or poop, whether she's being breastfed or bottle fed for how long. And when we got here, I kind of stopped doing that. So it's like I had to use regular loose leaf or regular pad paper and continue on my own. Um, at least like my mom was here the whole week, and then she left when she turned a week. I've been doing it since she left, I'm still doing it. I feel like it's nice because she wakes up, she goes to sleep, I can jot it down, um, and that kind of stuff. I'm not currently registered in school, even though I'm trying to be for September. Um, I only have 3 classes left in the Manhattan school in New York. I was having some issues here at the school. Um, so I'm trying to go back. I'm trying to be finished. I'm trying to get a degree. Like I'm so over it. Um, and yeah, so basically this is like the update. I had my baby. It's a girl. She's big as fuck. Um, I'm not sure I want to disclose her name unless I post it on my social media. Um, but she's very, very beautiful. I'm very happy and proud to be her mommy. Um, I want to see if I can get some professional pictures. But you know how babies be changing their look, so I'm trying to make sure it's a look that's gonna stay, so that I can go get some professional pictures. My sons, I think I made a video of when my sons were refusing to have pics taken in, I think, June. So I'm due to go back to New York, I think, August. But my son turns 14 September, starts high school and whatnot. So I'm trying to be over there then, but she's still too young. And then we got to figure out transportation. So I don't know. And I feel bad because I already told my sons, this was gonna be a bomb summer. Um, but this was way before I knew I was gonna have in July. So hopefully they can forgive me if things don't work out the way planned. But we'll figure it out. Definitely by holiday season, things should be more accurate as far as plans go. I actually want to go to New York now. Um, um, my mom brought me my one of my bags. It was like that shit was if she could have left it at home because it's filled with pajamas and at home clothes that I used to wear when I was just in every day, like in clothes I would wear just to stay in. Um, I'm like, wrong bag, mama. Wrong bag. Where is your bubble? But let me cut this video short because I think it's time to breastfeed, right? And I think you need a bath soon. Yeah. Okay. Alrighty.